yeah, Veronica Mars, I'm watching you. Private eyes.
Hello and welcome to your podcast, Veronica Mars. I'm Joe.
And I'm Travis.
And today we are talking about Season 4. We're going to talk about the season as a whole. So, spoilers, obviously. If you haven't watched it, do not listen to this because we are talking about everything, not just a specific episode.
So I guess, did you like it? As a fan, did you like it?
I loved it. I did. It felt right. It felt like this is where Veronica is. Like, I could have seen them taking this from like the end of season 1 and then a flash forward like 15 years and ending here. Like, it felt like that Veronica. It felt true to who she would be at 30.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are upset that Veronica is kind of an asshole this season, but
Veronica was an asshole.
She's always been an
season.
asshole. Dude, it's her. Like, I love her for
That's
that.
like
That's one of the reasons.
Veronica, and I like it.
Yes. Yeah, it felt this is a person who hasn't dealt with any of her trauma. Like, this is what happens when you just bury it and cover it with other shit. You become hardened. She's a she's a marshmallow in the center. There's a big ol' hard shell outside of there.
Yes. I'm very torn. I don't think we needed the season, and I think the majority of the season was like lackluster. But I am glad we revisited the show and the character. All the Veronica stuff I loved. I think Veronica was perfect. Yeah, it was everything surrounding definitely. Veronica that I felt was just... I didn't see the point to a lot of it. I felt like it was there was so much going on in 8 episodes, and there was no real clear vision. And I think that was also the problem with season 3, and why I'm not a huge fan of season 3 and the movie. And it didn't feel like returning to Neptune. I did not feel like I was back in Neptune, and that's really what kind of saddened me.
Why didn't you feel like you were in Neptune?
It felt like it. I understand they were no longer filming in the same place they filmed the first 3 seasons. Like, I think they're filming in LA instead of I don't know where they filmed it the first couple seasons. I think it was San Diego or somewhere not LA. But I know stuff happened in the books, but it just felt like Neptune just felt so big, and it didn't feel like that.
It suddenly doubled in size.
It felt like there was no longer the upper lower class war. It felt like there was it all just felt like a lot of everyone was poor. Like, I feel like the 09er aspect, the upper class, was gone, which I felt was weird outside of Big Dick.
So I kind of really disagree with the whole not a clear purpose of the season, because I feel, especially once we get to the end, I feel like this season was to show that Veronica can't save Neptune, that it's so far past gone that anything she does right now is just putting a Band-Aid on a severed head, which we got quite a bit of,
But no F words.
Felt, right? No, like, you can decapitate someone, but you can't say fuck.
That sex dream she had with Leo was fucking intense. I'm like, okay, but it's a good thing she didn't say fuck earlier on in the episode.
Well, you basically saw her breasts, too. Like, but you can't say fuck.
Yeah.
That was funny. Yeah.
I mean, it was cute. I liked the whole her and Keith having the cursing.
Yes. It was a fun way. Like, they came up with some really good lines with it to make it not seem forced, I guess.
Because other Hulu shows swear? Like, it's
yeah.
Hulu's
no,
like
they
HBO,
just
where it doesn't fucking matter, right?
Right. They just wanted it to be closer to the show, but we never had this level of violence on the show.
Or like, I do not recall Veronica's rape scene being like vivid, okay?
Right, there's no like explicit sex scenes. Like, it's so, but that's such an American thing where you can have all this violence, but God forbid you show boobs or
Yeah.
say fuck. Like, that's such an American thing. It's hilarious. Whereas everywhere else, it's the complete opposite. But back to what I was saying about the seasons on a whole, I feel it was a bridge as well. Because Rob had just actually given an interview like a couple hours ago of how he wanted to shed the teenage soap aspect of the show, and I feel like this is a bridge to get him from season 3 to season 5, basically. I at the end of it, that's what I felt its purpose was, and I thought it did it well.
I guess we should talk about the big, divisive. You just get it out of the way. So Logan's dead.
I was right. I called it. I'm just saying.
Now, I am in no way a Love fan. I'm not a huge Logan fan outside of season 1.
Whereas I'm a huge, like, that has to be my favorite ship of all time is Logan and Veronica. Like, hands down, there's no competition.
Which is fine. I don't mind Logan being killed off, but someone made a tweet, and I wish I would have remembered the name, but it was so right. Logan's death, I think, would not have pissed off the fans if his death drove the story or was part of the story. It felt like such an afterthought. We don't really see it. It's so... Do you disagree?
I disagree.
It didn't... Logan was also so not part of the season. He was such like a weird side character. He wasn't in any of the action outside of like... Yeah, I guess he was the bodyguard. But
that was the first half. It was the second half where they kind of...
Yeah.
Kind
and
of
there's only
floated.
8 episodes, so it's not even like in the first 10 episodes he was really there, but in the last 10 episodes he wasn't. I don't know. I think Rob... So I hate when shows pander to the fans.
Uh-huh.
And the biggest shows like Arrow did it, and they wrecked it. Like, Arrow was wrecked when it pandered to the fans. Glee fell apart when it started to pander to the fans. And I think it should not be on the flip side. Like, you gotta also... You can't not... Like, how do I explain
Okay, but Logan and Veronica are so... How do you do that without either completely regressing her character or sending him off even though they have this bloodshed continent epic romance, yet they're...
But I think it would have been more interesting to see these two adults kind of realize they can't be together. I don't think it's
so far past that.
I don't think it is. I think it's such a bad, unhealthy mindset that if you're in this not great relationship, you should just stick it out because it's epic, or wait until one of you dies. Like, I think that's a really bad message, and because they showed the like other relationships on the show they were really smart with. Like, the Veronica Wallace relationship was so true to real life because you do drift away from friends from high school.
Yeah,
when you have different interests, different priorities.
Jobs, like a family.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But to say that like you should just stick with this relationship, even though Veronica was not happy in it, she clearly just wanted it for the sex. Veronica just always wants to be with someone, and to not have her like grow past that or realize that, to just have her like, because almost all her relationships, all her major relationships, she doesn't really choose. Like, she didn't get to choose to end it with Duncan. That wasn't in her control. And now she doesn't have that control with Logan.
She had that control with Leo.
Yeah, and that was... Well, and then she cheated on Leo with Logan. So
but she like was upfront about it to him. Like, it's not like she hid it and then he found out. Like, she was like, "Hey, I'm fucked up."
That's fine, but she never has grown as a like. She's always going to have these really bad relationships because she was never allowed to like grow or evolve or learn.
Right, and
I think that's.
But
stupid.
that's part of her character. That's part of her character flaw. Is if she has this person in her life, one, she's not going to let him go. He's like one of the few people she could even remotely trust. So she's never going to be like, "Oh, Like, just go away. It's going to be better this way. He's not ever going to do it because he's madly in love with her. There's no way to take them away from each other without one of them dying. And the title character is not going to be the one to die.
The only thing I wish this gets us is season 5 needs to have Allison Hannigan as Trina. Like, I'm hoping that's what this leads to.
Yes!
Like, this is all the build-up because they want to get Trina in for season 5. And I'm okay with that.
That would be amazing. Or, like, it could be Veronica and Mac's road trip adventures. Like,
let's not talk about Mac, because
she's in Istanbul right now. She's busy.
She's busy, like, ugh.
Well, I thought that was a good way to deal with that.
It was fine. I'm just mad we didn't get Mac. They could have had, and any reason wasn't going to be satisfactory.
I know, she's my favorite character. I get it. I really, really wish she was there. But I really liked Nicole. Yeah. I really liked Nicole. I thought she was a good friendship for Veronica until Veronica did what Veronica does. So that was, I at least enjoyed that Veronica got a friend that was a woman this season, and one that was as cool as she was. Like, I loved every moment she was on screen. Even if they were to stay friends with Veronica leaving, that really wouldn't have done anything, but I enjoyed their connection throughout the season.
Yeah, I really the character was cool.
But what I wanted to go back to, where, like, saying his death is random or whatever, it wasn't, though. Like, the whole point was, like, Veronica messed up. She wasn't thinking clearly. She didn't think it through. And
the entire time I was watching that scene, and he's like, if you survive, come visit me, I'm all like, Veronica!
Right? I was waiting for the second blast. Like, come on, where's it coming from? And I thought it was a good setup with the backpack. Like, it didn't feel random. Once she started having, like, piecing the things together, it was a very her moment. I felt that, like, too little too late. Like, she should have thought, like, Veronica was a superhero, essentially, of Neptune. Like, you can think of her that way, and, like, if you have a relationship with a superhero and they know the superhero's identity, if you have any relationship with a superhero, you might die, because the easiest way to, like, get to the hero is to take out the ones they love, even though the bomb was more meant for Veronica, but that is her grief to deal with now.
So there's a term in comic books that I don't know if you guys... Fridging. I don't know how many of you read comics, but there's a term called fridging. And it's when...
Logan got hella fridged.
Yeah, it's usually when the male hero's girlfriend or whatever is killed off to motivate the male hero, and it comes from one of the Green Lanterns in the comic. His girlfriend was murdered and stuffed in a fridge, and he came home and found her, and that, like, motivated his arc and all that. And the moment, the entire time, I'm like, did they just fridge Logan?
Yes! That was my first thought.
I'm like, okay, that's
because I really do think of Veronica as, like, a superhero of sorts. Like, or even, I would even say an anti-hero.
I was going to say anti-hero.
Like,
when she was, like, that Hearst kid she was, interrogating.
Oh my
that
god.
Was fucking hilarious.
Kid was like, Jesus Christ. I love that she warned him too. She's like, are you gonna be okay? It's gonna be... That was a really good... But yeah, I think that's a big problem. And I don't know whether or not it's the show's fault or the fans' perception, but Veronica has always kind of been an anti-hero. Like, she's not this super righteous person. Like, yeah, she wants to get justice, but she's more of a ends justify the means type of person. And I think somewhere along the way, either the show might have steered fans the wrong way with that, or Kristen Bell herself just being such, like, a fucking being of light. Like, she is such a good fucking person that it's hard to probably reprimand that and see her as the anti-hero. But that's what Veronica is. That's what we were shown from the pilot. Like, she she doesn't care how she gets there. She wants to get justice for who deserve justice.
Yeah, and we see that a lot, especially through season 1, when she does a lot of stupid things to kind of get to solve the case. And that kind of went away a little bit. And I don't know if it was more the TV, because it was on network television, and they wanted to soften her up and be all that.
Right.
But Veronica, I like Veronica being a fucking Batman. Like, I said this in the pilot, I'm pretty sure. Veronica's Batgirl, and Keith is Jim Gordon. And Keith even makes an Arkham Asylum joke in episode
he does!
2
yes!
or 3. And I was like...
I screamed.
I called it! Guys, I've been saying this since day 1.
Oh my god. Okay, so, speaking of Keith, there's some backlash there where he was miraculously healed at the end, which not the case. Like,
I understand, but I watched, being a huge Grey's Anatomy fan, I believed it. It was believable that his meds were kind of fucking him up.
Well, that's a huge problem. Like, in the medical field, is just the amount of medication you're giving and how they interact with each other and the side effects. Like, that's a real thing that tons of people have to live with and deal with, and not knowing why all of a sudden they're this way. And especially for people who can't afford real health care and have to go see some asshat that's not even caring about him during physical rehab, who I wanted to reach through the fucking screen and strangle, because no one does that to Papa Keith. Like, it's... I get, like, it would have been cool to have a chronic illness type storyline with him, but for one, he's not gonna be able to continue his work. And
well, that's the thing. You can't get rid of Keith and Logan.
No.
You gotta pick. But it was a bait and switch.
And I told you.
Yeah, I was like a day behind Joe, okay? Sorry. Some of us had to work. Some of us didn't get to go fly off to fucking LA and schmooze with the stars of Veronica Mars. Whatever, it's fine.
A big thank you to Diane Ruggiero Wright and her husband Tim Wright for being the most amazing people on this earth. I'll talk about the fan event on a different episode because we only have a limited time to talk about this, and I want to give it the justice it deserves because the whole cast was fucking amazing. But go on, sorry.
What was I saying? It was a bait and switch. It was a bait and switch, and I was really into the whole Keith. Like, it was painful to watch Keith being like,
God,
and but it's also
fragile, and
it's what happens. He's gone through a lot of shit.
Yeah, yes.
He fucking has had a rough time, and I really appreciate that they showed there's consequences to this job.
Yes.
You're not gonna retire at this job. There's a good chance you're not gonna survive.
And how are you gonna deal with a real injury that puts you out of being able to do the most intense parts of that job?
Yeah, and to have it kind of be like, actually, we're good. I'm gonna get a hip replacement, and then we're gonna go fight crime next season. It was just so rushed. I would have rathered
the hip replacement. I did feel was a bit like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
But I don't feel the misdiagnosis was rushed because he got a real doctor that was able to expensive doctor.
I don't think it was rushed. Not that it was rushed, but it happens. Everything happens so quickly in that last 20 minutes of episode 8.
I wish they had an extra episode.
Yeah, but also I feel like they could have cut a lot. There was a lot of filler midway through. I really did enjoy the Mexican cartel, those two guys. But also they got a lot of screen time that we really didn't need them to have. Same with the diplomat. And I don't, did anyone else really care about that fucking ring? Of course Maddie had it. It was obvious from the first episode. Of course she had it. And also, the guy's fiance that died, first of all, she didn't look like anyone in her family. I don't understand where she came from, this white trash ghetto. Because it was also such a over-the-top stereotype.
Of rednecks.
Which
I loved it.
They're out there, but it was just oh great, a storyline I don't fucking care about. There was almost no resolution. And then, what's his name didn't even die at the end, so... What's his name?
Who?
The senator.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because he didn't blow up the seaside. It was Dick.
Yo,
Why would he have died?
Well, because he got shot by the chick's brother.
Oh yeah, but again, like Veronica loses. Like this is about Neptune winning. Like the
rich
fine. Get richer.
I would have rather them focus more on that. There was a lot of things going on that I didn't care about. We didn't really get. I don't know. Like Dick was my favorite part of the series, and he was only in a couple episodes because Ryan Hansen he steals every scene he's in.
Oh my god, he's such a sweetheart. God.
I don't know. I'm very torn. Like, there's so much I like about the season, but there's just so much that like I don't care about. That's what it is.
I think it's also because it's only 8 episodes that everything feels a bit more extreme. Like, you love it, but then you hate this, and then it's a lot for 8 episodes.
I just found it hard to binge. I almost would have rathered it was week to week, because it didn't. Shows like Netflix is a bit better at this, where there's shows you have to binge because it just feels like a fucking 10-hour movie. Like the first season of Jessica Jones, that's like
so good,
perfect. Like I think I binged that super quickly because you don't stop.
Yeah,
but Veronica Mars, like I didn't feel the need to be like, I'm going to stay up till 4 a.m. Instead, I'm like, I'm just going to go to bed and I'll watch the rest of it tomorrow. And I'm sure I can see by your face you had a different reaction to that.
I did. Like, I had to. If I wasn't like flying out the next day, I would have just like finished it all because I got to episode. I finished episode 6 and I was like, fuck. I mean, do I really need 2 hours of sleep? Could I just finish this now and nap like all day tomorrow? Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm horrible at napping. Like, this won't work and I'm going to be miserable. And this is the one day I don't want to be miserable. So I had to like tear myself away. So I had a bit different.
I was coming home last night from work. I got up at 10. And I'm like, fuck, I need to watch those last 2 fucking episodes of Veronica Mars. And I was like, I stopped at the store to pick up dinner. And I was just like, taking my time. I'm like...
Such an ass.
I felt like I was...
Oh, is that why you woke up late?
No. Well, I got home, and then I turned on episode 7 as I was cooking dinner. And I'm like, I'm not really missing much. And then, like, episode 8 I was watching, and I was on my phone for a good chunk of it. And I feel bad, but I also don't feel bad.
Horrible. You're horrible. You're horrible, Travis.
It was...
I'm just playing with you. Calm down.
There was just so many new characters added.
You're allowed to dislike things.
But I don't want to sound like... Okay, because people on Twitter right now are fucking acting like their childhood's been ruined.
Oh my god.
Because I didn't like the movie or season 3, so it's not like Veronica Mars has been this perfect golden standard.
How did you... I know you weren't too... Because we did talk about like a little bit with episode 1 and 2, but how did you feel about Maddie towards the end?
I still hated her.
Really? So I really enjoyed her. I thought I liked her and Keith's interactions. I liked the character. I loved what her character could bring, I guess, to not bring, but kind of show Veronica, like, hey, this was you to your father. And I kind of wish they would have amped that up a little bit. Because Veronica's not going to have kids. She's just not.
Well, everyone told her not to.
Oh, I love that. Just don't have kids, Veronica.
I like, what did she say? She's like, oh, babysitter excuse, great one. And Walt's just like, don't have kids.
That was so good. And then Keith's like, yeah, I don't need grandkids. It's fine. I loved Weevil in this season.
Weevil. I loved Weevil. Every fucking moment of Weevil. This is the Weevil I wanted.
Second.
Because season 1, Weevil's fantastic, and then he doesn't do anything for the next.
Right, we get a little bit of him at the beginning of 2 with the whole Felix storyline.
Yeah.
I loved it. Oh, God.
But
still
the PC-13 gang is still in force.
And he's still running it.
I love the guy who tried to, like, mug Veronica.
He was a little cutie. Like,
he was in fucking American Vandal, and I fucking love that.
That's where I remembered him from. Thank you.
He was so good, and he's growing up cute, and but he was fucking hilarious. Like Veronica stunning him, and then she's like, my favorite line on the whole show is she's like, "Give me your wallet." He's like, "Eat my dick," and she's like, "Cool, I like them well done," and then has her taser, and he just pulls out the wallet and throws it at her. Oh, like that's the show I want. Like Veronica in this season was perfect. It's exactly where Veronica should be. Yep. She's still the same Veronica because people don't change that much. I don't know what people expected Veronica to be.
Well, especially when they don't get the help they need. Like, she's not gonna... Logan loving her is not gonna fix her. It's only gonna make her think that she is okay. If she can make this relationship work, then she's fine. She's not having any other issues. She can keep burying them.
Yeah.
Whereas if she doesn't have that to mask all of, like, the trauma that she has, that she'll get help if she... Without that, she'll be able to finally get the help. And we saw that when she, for the first time since Lily Kane's death, that she went and saw a therapist. Because the last time she saw one was Miss Dent, of not all Miss fucking Dent. People.
Not Miss Dent.
Oh, not Miss Dent. I'm sorry, Miss James. Of all fucking people, to talk about Lily's death, where she didn't even really talk. So we're dealing with a character who, it's just... I'm trying to think of how to word this without shitting on people that love the show.
You can love... I feel there's this weird thing on the internet right now. You can love a show and criticize it.
That's fine. The people that should be criticizing it.
It's fine. There's many shows out there that I love. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy will always be like my number one show. It fucking gets bad. There's a lot of shitty moments in Buffy. And I still love it. That doesn't change the fact that I love it, and I'm allowed to critique it, and I'm allowed to say, yeah, Spike is the fucking worst character on TV. I will still... I will just go watch random episodes of Buffy sometimes, because I just want something to watch, or I need to feel better. That doesn't change it. I'm still going to love Veronica Mars. Like, I will
watch it until, like, it's Kristen's 80. Like, as long as Kristen is there, being Veronica... I got my show. Like, Veronica Mars is Veronica Mars.
It's not an ensemble show, and I think that's my biggest thing I need to get past, is because I was...
Yep. Yeah, you do.
Because there's characters
I was going to bring that up. That's really funny, because I was going to be like, Travis, you just need to...
There are characters I wish were in it. There's cameos I wish we had. And whatever, it is what it is. But that's, I think, why I didn't feel like Neptune, is because we didn't see a lot of the familiar faces.
Okay.
Until, like, the last episode. And I enjoyed Clarence Weedman. I thought that was a good, like, he also looks like he hasn't aged a day.
Dude, right?
But then also Jake Kane looks like he's aged a lot. And I'm like, oh, because I didn't realize that was
when
Jake
he said,
at
like,
first.
50, I was like, 50?
Yeah.
50?
Because, like, Clemens looks better than him.
Well, so I like that you don't love everything about it like I do. Because then it makes me, like, have to look at it in a different way. Like, that's one of the best parts about TV, when you can have multiple differing opinions about something and have a discourse about it. Like, that means you did a good job. When people are talking about it and have a lot of shit to talk about it, both good and bad, that means you did your fucking job.
Yeah.
Like... It shouldn't always be, like, I'm really bad at that, I'll admit. Like, if I love something, like, I don't care, I love it. Like, it's perfect. Like, don't it?
Yeah.
Whereas you're the complete opposite, and I think that's what really works, is, like, there's a discourse there where you're gonna hate something, and I'm gonna hate you for hating it, but I love you deep down. So, like...
like, even... Who was I talking to? I was talking to a friend of mine online about this, and we were talking about Sailor Moon, and it's the same thing. It's like... I love, like, I have Sailor Moon on my leg. I tattooed Sailor Moon on my leg, so I must love it to a point. But also, like, but there's so many flaws in the show, because it ran for 200 episodes, and a lot of it was filler. But if you say anything bad in the Sailor Moon community, it's like you're fucking, I don't know, pissing on it, and it's a lot of fandoms are like that, and it's really upsetting, and it's hard to get into fandoms, and that's why I've kind of, like, backed out of them, is because I don't want to just be sucking the creator's dick. Rob, you did a great job, but also you fucked up a lot. So I don't.
What?
I don't know. I have a lot of strong feelings about people who don't admit there's flaws and things.
No, I think that if anything kills discourse quicker than I don't like openly hating it.
Well, because you guys can tell if you listen to the episodes where we both like the episode. There's not a lot of content in this episode.
No, there are shortest episodes
because we don't have anything to talk about. Because it can't just be like, "This is great.
I loved it.
This is great." Like in the episodes where we do have like things to like disagree on, are also the most fun to record because it's almost like a debate, and because you can't just be like, "I hate this," because Joe will be like, "Well, why? What'd you hate about it? What pissed you off about it?" And then I gotta like back up my argument.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you just trash something without a backup, and I think
especially if it's something you really like.
Yeah, but I think that's where you get the best talks is when you have to deep like why did you hate that or why did you love it, like on the opposite end of it. And what I really loved about season 4 and when it did well is it created that it has stuff that people are gonna love, people are really gonna hate, and that's TV. Shit. Like, even, like, any of my favorite shows, there's always something I've disliked. And, like, the one, I didn't really have much to dislike with season 4 because it was only 8 episodes, but, like, the one thing that kind of, I don't even want to say annoyed, but, like, I didn't really care for was the wrap-up of the mystery felt a lot like the wrap-up of the movie mystery.
It just felt rushed.
It felt, I don't know how to explain it. I should have written it down when I texted you that, like, why it felt that way, but there was just something about it that felt very parallel to the movie when she solved the mystery, and it kind of just threw me out of the moment when I was watching it. So do you want to talk about Leo? I know he was your favorite part.
Let's talk about Leo. He was wearing the most ill-fitted suit the entire time, though. He enjoyed me. But
that's such like a straight guy thing to do.
I know.
It was very on brand for Leo. It was like straight Italian guy. Just although you would think him being Italian, he would wear a more fitted suit, but
it's fine. I think the whole point was Logan had to be the sexy one, which is whatever. He worked hard for that body. It's great. And I will say I loved when he was at the Senators and he was leaving after he was called back to duty, and then the mom was talking, and then he responds.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'll make sure to keep in shape for the next time.
One of the best scenes in the season was at the very beginning when Veronica comes home and then she sees his bag and she's like, Daddy's home? And then runs out to the beach with Pony. And then like he's coming up and those two girls are just like ogling him. She's like, hey, Blue Trunks! And the whole, like, hand job with eye contact? Okay. Like, that was...
But I love that the girl's like, I don't have anything to do to this. And her friend is, like, shocked. I'm like, what are you... Okay.
Right? And then Logan's like, oh, well, that does sound like a better offer. Did I tell you to talk?
I also,
that was
one of my favorites, we'll get back to Leo in a second, but I don't want to forget this point. When, the only scene I like with Maddie, I really liked with Maddie, is when she's trying to, like give Veronica, she's like, did you know that Dick Casablancas, or Big Dick's son, like, blew up a school? And, like, she's giving him all this information, and Veronica's like, yep. Mm-hmm. Up to date on that. Thank you.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Do they mention a rooftop by any chance along with this story? And then, like, the mention of Kendall with Phoenix
also,
Land Trust. Such a good shout out.
I love that the photo of Kendall is, like,
a promo shot?
Yeah. Of, like, who took that photo of her walking in on, like, Beaver, Dick, and Logan at the pool? But I enjoyed it because she looked good.
She did. And okay, so there was a fleeting moment where I thought Kendall was going to be the one that was behind the bombings. Like, I was like, oh, did they just drop her in there to, like, connect her to the Casablancas to then... I was expecting that switch out just because of, like, the Gia thing from the movie. I was expecting Kendall to be, but then I was like, no, that doesn't... It's not tracking with the season like it tracked with the movie. Like, yeah. I'm like, they're setting something actual up here. They did. But back to Leo.
Leo.
Tomato.
I'm glad that he was in the FBI. I think it made sense. I love
that
that
Veronica was jealous.
Keith sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I loved
he's
Keith
such a good son-in-law.
Oh, if anything proved from the end of this, Veronica is not going to end up with anyone, so that kind of kills the ship of everyone. I think this is my favorite moment in the entire season, and I will stand by this, is when he shows up at the bar, and then he's like, so Veronica, did you find anything about the whatever? And she's like, I knew you left those files open for me. Free work. And he's like, Leo learned, and he's using it against her.
And she's just like,
he's a good boy.
She's like, did you bug my car? He's like, it's in your bag. And she's just like stunned for like a solid minute. She's like, what the fuck just happened?
Like, she acts like he's never met her before. He knows, and he's in the FBI, so he knows, like, Leo's a good boy. And Keith's, like, reaction to seeing him for the first time, that Leo!
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
He's so happy with him. I really hope, they're not ever gonna, Leo's in the FBI, but I would really love for them to team up again, because Keith and Leo make such a good team.
When he showed up to their house with a pizza, and, like, Logan answered the door. And I'm like, I know where this goes. I've seen the beginning of this video lots of times.
Hi, sir. I have a pizza for you. It's a meat lovers.
It's a large Italian sausage. But also, I really enjoyed when Veronica comes home and, like, Leo steps out of I guess he was in the washroom, and Logan's like, I think Piz is back there too. Hey, Piz, come on out.
I laughed so fucking hard.
It was so good.
It's like they found, I feel like they really found the character groove for the most part throughout the season, and it gave us some really good moments.
Everyone was very much where they should be. Like, I really like that Logan is going to therapy and trying to better himself, and how angry he is when Veronica's like, I want the old Logan, and he's like, the old Logan was a fucking angry teenager who, like, lost the love of his life, lost his mom. His dad was a fucking creep and murderer.
I'm putting it lightly.
And so, yeah, I really...
the kid has gone through so much.
Yeah. He lost pretty much everyone in his life within a year.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like he had a support system. It's not like, at least he had his caring, loving sister Trina to have his back.
Right.
Like...
Oh, God, and that makes season 2 even more, like, when he has that lash out at Duncan over, I don't fucking care about Veronica, you weren't there for me. Like, ugh. Logan, like, I know, like, it must seem like I didn't care about Logan, but he was literally, like, one of my top 3 characters of the fucking show, and I am extremely heartbroken that he's not going to be around, but ultimately, this is Veronica's show, and what needs to happen is what needs to happen. It sucks. It hurts.
That is the one thing I will say that I really enjoy is the Veronica Mars. Like, the idea of Veronica Mars has definitely become like Veronica and Logan. Like, you can't really have a conversation about Veronica Mars without Logan.
Yep.
And I think that hurts the show. And unlike other shows where that becomes the case, they fix the problem, and Logan's no longer there. Like, Spike should have been killed in season 6, guys, but that's a different podcast. So it's nice that the show's going to focus on Veronica Mars. Because I remember when the movie was being made, more people were talking about what Logan was up to, and Logan had more of the conversation after it came out than Veronica did, and that pissed me off, because I'm like,
this is Veronica's show.
This is Veronica Mars. This is not Logan Eccles. This is fucking Veronica. And I don't mind her being in a relationship. And this Logan I liked, so they could have stayed together.
Right? I like, at the very least, they sent Logan off on a high note. They didn't have him regress. He was like, he got the help he needed. He was...
But I find it weird, because this, last night, after I watched the episode, I just kind of went... So I avoided Twitter and Instagram for, like, 2 days.
Smart.
Because I'm like, okay... I was just really curious. I'm like, okay, what are people talking about? Because I had a
Oh,
feeling.
you should have been there on Saturday.
I had a feeling it was not going to be positive. So it's kind of going through like our feed and just like the Veronica Mars feeds, and a lot of people didn't like Logan this season because he wasn't Logan. But I
loved him.
I did too, because you gotta grow. It's such a great message to like people out there. Like, yeah, like mental health is like a real issue, and you need to get help. Like, you can't fix it yourself.
That is on point. That is exactly how I feel, because you have these two dichotomies. You have Logan and Veronica have both had very traumatic childhoods.
Yeah.
And you get to see both sides of it, whereas Logan shows you what therapy can do for you, what seeking help could do for you, and then you have Veronica as your cautionary tale of, if you don't go get help, if you just keep putting a Band-Aid on a gushing wound, like, nothing's gonna happen. Like, you're just gonna keep ending up at the same place until you get that help. And for Veronica and her character, like I said before, she's not going to do that if she has someone who's going to make her feel that happy and thinking she doesn't need it anymore. Because she, like, Logan loves me. Like, look how much he loves me. Like, I must be fine. Like, this must be okay. Because especially this new healed Logan, he's not going to make her upset.
Yeah.
He's like, the way he switched on, like when he punched through the cabinet, like, he didn't want her upset, so he gave her what she wanted. And like, it sucks, it hurts, but that's who these characters are. They're star-crossed lovers. Like, that was their whole thing. Like, they could never get on the same page at the same time, and then they finally do. And well, and at the least, okay, so I know we didn't release our pre-season 4 episode because of everything that happened this weekend, but I was very, very, very determined that I did not want Veronica to get married. But I liked the scene, mainly because that's like how I got married. I was like, let's just go to the courthouse. So it was really cool to see Veronica do that. And that's the only way I would have seen her getting married too. I couldn't see her with a big ceremony.
I knew something was going to happen, because I didn't know who died, but I knew someone died. And like, as we got to the wedding, and like, as this episode was ending, I'm like, is someone going to come up and like shoot someone at this wedding? Like, that's
what I was thinking
like,
too.
I'm like, it's just going to be like, I do, and then like a bullet shot, and just
see, and I would have been pissed off at that, but they set it up with the car bomb. They set it up with the street sweeper. They set everything up along the way.
They said, I mean, I don't.
It wasn't random, and I'm getting just pissed off that people are saying it's some random ass death.
I just felt like it
made no sense.
Felt tacked on. It felt more like a shock, like a moment of shock.
Well, they couldn't have done it any earlier in the season.
Well, no, because then you'd have people be like, I'm not going to watch this season. Logan's dead. He's the only reason I watch the show. And it's like, cool, girl power. You're watching this strong female character for the guy she's dating.
Well, I think that people want to think that Veronica is like this perfect example of what a woman should be. No. Like, they put her on this pedestal of just grandeur, and that's never been her. Like, yeah, she's a strong, like, God, I hate that term. She's a strong character. I'm not even going to say female, because it's just, she's a strong character with her own views and everything, but she's not perfect. She could be a shitty person. You could be a shitty person and still be a good person. Like, you know? Like, it's gray. Veronica is gray. It's not black and white, and it's never has been. So I'm baffled about some of the responses to how Veronica's been acting when that's how she has been acting.
I mean, she fucking, what was it? What episode was it in season 1? She fucking drives over Dick's surfboard. Like, she's done so much shit. She's not a nice person.
She's not, and that's okay. Like, that doesn't take away from her being a good character Or not every role model also needs to be perfect. They can fuck up. It shows people that, like, you could fuck up and still move on and still do good fucking things. Like, I think that's one of the greatest traits of her as a character. Like, it's what makes me love her is she shows that. Like, so Kristen Bell said something about wanting to do the season. She wanted that message out for her girls when they grow up to watch it. And people are like, oh, how is that a good example to set? Like, she's an asshole. She's smoking weed and doing E and all this. And I'm like, first of all, Kristen Bell is a huge marijuana advocate. Like,
I didn't know
because Dax Shepard is, like, sober. And there's this whole thing about, oh my God, Kristen Bell smokes and her husband's sober. She doesn't love him. She doesn't care. And Dax like, it's fucking cool. Like, that's our business and I'm okay with it. So y'all need to just the fuck. But I don't understand. It's kind of like where you get mad at TV for not teaching your kids certain lessons.
Yeah.
Like, that is your job as a parent. And I'm sure Kristen meant I can show them this and show them as Veronica as a cautionary tale of get fucking help. Like, you're never going to be healed. You're never going to live a, like, full, happy life if you don't get the help you need, if you don't heal from that damage that's been done to you. Like, that is a good message to send. And I wish people would accept nuance in TV shows and not need it to be an after-school special. Because could you fucking imagine? Like, Veronica's never been a fucking after-school special, so I'm baffled. Like, if you don't like it, that's cool. Like, all right, I don't care. But, like, to say that Kristen Bell and Veronica and Rob Thomas are sending horrible messages to young girls everywhere, like, the fuck?
But this is also not a show for young
girls.
I don't think... It's not like Kristen Bell's going to take her, like... Because I think her kids are, like,
they're pretty
under the
young.
age of 5 or 5 or 6. She's not going to be like, okay, guys, I'm going to sit you two down, you two toddlers, and we're going to watch Veronica Mars season 4. Like, no.
They're not even going to watch season 1.
Like, Veronica's always been, like, for teenagers, at least. Like, because that's when I started watching it.
Yeah.
And it's... I don't know. I wish the fans would just take a step back. It is such a knee-jerk reaction. It's like, this is not what I wanted.
And it was a big one. Like, it was a big shock. I get it.
The funny thing is, so when the movie came out and people were unhappy with it, it was the reverse. All these people were like, well, you're wrong. The movie is perfect.
You're not a real fan.
You're not a real fan if you didn't like the movie. Rob Thomas is like, his word is God's word. Like, if you don't like it, you hate Veronica Mars. But now, they all hate it. And I think I've noticed a lot of people who didn't like the movie are okay with this season. And now it's like, this is the Veronica Mars. This is blasphemy. And it's like, how... I appreciate that you have such a strong passion for something, and I wish you just need to accept this is what Veronica Mars is, and if you don't like this season, that's unfortunate, but if you really do like this season, good. Like, I think a lot of people are going to find themselves in the middle, and that's, I think, because you're going to, from people I've talked to at least, it seems very much like they really enjoy the Veronica stuff. It's the surrounding stuff that not everyone's loving.
Yeah.
But I love the character so much. Of course, I'm going to follow up with the season. If we get another season...
Oh, in a heartbeat, yeah.
I will watch season 5. And I want more Veronica. And I'm okay if we take it out of Neptune, because...
Yes.
I think Neptune is...
We need to grow.
Neptune worked really well for a high school setting. And this whole, like... idea of the rich versus poor, and the school dynamic was really cool, and the 09ers work as like high school kids, but as adults it's a little more like muddy, and they clearly don't want to focus on that, which is fine. So we move the show to like anywhere else, I'm okay with that. Like,
Well, he said he wants to take it like in a Fargo True Detective thing where it's like she gets a big mystery and whenever Rob and Kristen have open pockets together, they can do this and like bring in characters what they can. But like it's going to be Veronica Mars. It's going to be her detective show.
I don't mind that. And I think that's kind of what...
I think it's going to be cool.
I think that's what the show was trying to like build to in season 1 and 2. And then unfortunately...
The CW stepped in.
No, I think... Yeah, in season 3, it was just cheaper to... Because you couldn't have a globe or a state traveling Veronica on the budget they had.
Oh,
so
no.
Like, we'll just keep her at Hearst College, and that didn't really make sense to the character.
See, like with the original season 4 pitch after season 3 ended, I feel that's exactly what we were going to do. Like, it was going to be Veronica going through the FBI, and then when she got into it, she was going to be going around with the FBI.
I just didn't... The FBI thing I didn't care for. I don't see Veronica as an FBI agent.
No, I like her more on her own.
Yeah. And this way, like...
She doesn't work well with others. Like
No. And this way, characters can pop up. Like, Matt can pop up. Like, because Keith can pop up. I don't know. It's.
I think it would be easier all around this way to be able to get more of her or of the character and still be able to have people pop in and out. Like when they can help drive the story, you can bring them in, and then if not, like don't have them just there for fluff. Like have them there to drive the story. But I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, where this season was serving as a bridge to have Neptune win, to have the haves win and Veronica be kind of driven out of town because otherwise she's going to be stuck in this town just fighting this losing battle again and again and again. And this gives there's really no, like, Neptune was going to get incorporated no matter what, like it did in the books, I believe. So
That's
once that happened, you can't really have the haves and have nots. Like
this whole you need to read the books to know what's going on kind of...
I don't think you did, because I caught it all from the show. Like
I just did the whole...
There was enough exposition.
The whole Neptune police department, the sheriff's department turned into police department, really threw me off, and I had to actually like go look into it because I'm like, wait a second, and that's not right. I guess we could talk about the sheriff. I think she was like fine.
She's not a sheriff. Captain.
Captain.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. She was fine. She was just a little like... It was so over the top. Like,
yeah.
She really had a point to prove, blah, blah, blah.
I'm sure... I think she was introduced in the book, so it probably, again, with what you were saying. But yeah, I liked her for the most part. I did feel like the same, where it was... At times, I was like, really? Like, you're gonna have a lamb ego. Like, I get having to have that, and I think it was a good way of doing it without making her like corrupt, where it was more her ego than anything.
Well,
but she wasn't...
I like that she... What was she... Who's she talking to? The kid who got his head blown up. Again, his dad, and he kept calling her like Monica or whatever her name is, and then she's pretty much like, sit down. He's like, and she's like, sit down, and she just had this like rant, which bit her in the ass, because then he went and talked to like the fucking press. But I really enjoyed that scene where she's like pretty much laying the law down. She's like, I know who you are. You're gonna probably be in jail soon, and your son's a fucking little rapist. So
right. Whereas like that's I liked that point. Like it was lamb, but not lamb. You know, like, she wasn't gonna put up just because you're rich. She doesn't fucking care. Like
she was lamb who was good at her job.
And
she also admitted, like, near the end that, like, she needed Keith and Veronica. Like, she took their clues and their hints. And
Lamb never would have done that.
No. She went with it. So, like, that's fine. And I guess we should talk about Patton Oswalt, since he kind of drove the season.
Yeah.
I can never look past him. He's always going to be Patton Oswalt. I unfortunately, this falls under the category of stunt casting for me. And I wish he didn't have such a big role.
Well, I think the reason why is because his wife who passed was like a true crime novelist, and so they were kind of both in that world together.
Yeah.
So that he had that connection there, and I believe that's more than stunt casting. It was like, oh, he's part of this world, so that'd be an interesting casting choice.
They just like, because I just finished recently watching To Make a Murderer on Netflix, and they pretty much just taken that idea of like famous inmates who people don't think are guilty.
Oh yeah, I like that they kept bringing that up with the murder heads.
Yeah, the murder heads were cool. I really enjoyed when Logan and Veronica walk in, and they're like, "Oh, he's the ex-boyfriend of Lily Kane, and he's like, and the son of her murderer."
Well, that's still out. We don't know who killed Lily Kane.
Yeah, and then I have a lot of like favorite small moments where it's like the guy from The Office is like, the trajectory of the blood and the blunt force trauma came from a person was Lily Kane's height, and they just all look at Veronica, and she's just like,
The murder heads were probably one of the highlights of all the new characters. Like, hands down, they were so fucking funny.
They were funny because they were the fans, and I really appreciate it. Because I remember during season 1, my friends and I would do that. That's how we try to like figure out who killed Lily Kane, like small shit like that. And same with like any murder case on Veronica Mars. And I'm such a crime junkie, so I loved it. I'm like, that's me. Because I feel like I can solve murders.
Well, so I always thought that would have been a great like continuation of Veronica Mars, is to like include the spike in the true crime.
Yeah.
Like just obsession. Like, it's always been there, but it's like hitting a really big height in that, like between all the podcasts, all the shows. Like, it's no longer like limited to the like ID channel. Like, you get investigative murder porn like on Netflix, Hulu, like everything that has a streaming service has their own true crime documentary.
It's because it's amazing. Fucking America's, or well, not just America, but the mostly take place in America. It's got a lot of murder down there in the States. And like, there was one Canadian murder show we have up here that I've seen a couple times. It's never that interesting. It's never that dramatic. It's pretty much like all by the facts. There's no like, they don't try to like, I don't know, sexualize it, if you will. Yeah, American murders are tragic and awful, but like, make good TV.
But yeah, I thought the murder heads were probably one of my favorite parts of the new season, and
they didn't feel like stereotypes. It didn't just feel like a bunch of like, we all live in our mom's basements. They're all just like, they all had jobs and were people who just had like this
fun side,
and they also weren't super like conspiracy theorist either. Like, that one guy was, but I think that was more just being over the top.
Yeah, and not like no one really know. Like, if you look at it outside of Veronica's eyes, like, no one knows what really happened. You just have a bunch of he said, she said, because for one, Duncan killed Aaron, or Clarence.
Well, because Aaron got out, didn't he?
Yeah.
In season 2, he gets out. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He had the trial, and then he was not guilty.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you look at it outside of Veronica's eyes, it's really fun. I love that they put that perspective in. It was a really great way. 'Cause I've wanted that.
We kind of talked about Weevil, but I really did. Him and Veronica had some really great scenes, especially in Mars Investigations, especially their fighting. Like,
people were upset about that.
Oh, I loved it.
It was perfect.
Veronica was like yelling, like, you had a wife and kids. You had it, and you fucking threw it away. And she was so upset. She's like, me and my dad and Cliff did so much, and you fucking threw it all away to be a fucking like gangbanger again. And she was so angry because she's the one person that's always believed Weevil can do better. He is not just a fucking biker ganger.
Biker ganger?
I can't think of the word. And he threw it all away. And in his mind, he had to, because what choice? He needed the money, right?
Right. Like he can't really provide for his family if he has no way to provide for his family. Yeah. Like, they both had points here, and that's what made the scene so fucking good.
And it was so and both that, like,
Ooh, I was ready for one of them to throw a punch at one
Francis Capra never really got a lot of opportunities to like dig into his character, but fuck.
point.
This, and then
I felt that whole scene like in my core. It was so good.
It was great. I rewatched that scene because it was...
Me too!
They have so much history, and it's so weird to see where they started, to see where they are now. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad they kind of got rid of Weevil's family, because much as I like that he had a happy ending in the movie, I don't think that's right for Weevil. Weevil... I don't want Weevil to have a happy ending.
Oh,
I like that Weevil is...
I do.
He's taking care of his whole family. He had to take care of his sister, but I really... Like, I was so happy when he... Fuck, I hated his sister. And was she ever mentioned at all in the series?
I don't remember her. Like, he had his two little, like, cousins.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait, no, that was his niece at Ain't No Magic Mountain High Enough. Yeah. That was his niece.
But, anyway,
that's who I kind of thought, but then the timeline doesn't, like...
When his sister is like, oh, you don't have to worry about Veronica soon, he's like, what did you do? And
oh, my God. Oh,
angry.
yes.
And then when the PG-13 gang show up at
my heart
the
just
cabin or whatever,
exploded.
You just hear the fucking... the revving of the engines. I'm like, Weeva! Yo!
I got chills right now, like, thinking about it.
And the moment, like, Veronica just looks out, and he kind of just, like, gives her a quick, like...
Best moment of the season.
Yeah.
Best moment of the season. Hands
and then
down.
They never really, like, talk afterwards.
I was really upset that we didn't get anything in episode 8.
But I
get it.
I'm happy. Because they don't need a sappy... Like, that's not their relationship.
They'll need, like, pick back up when they need to.
Because it's always going to be a give and take. And then... Because I could just picture Weevil being like, I need a favor. Remember that time I fucking saved your life?
Right? Well, remember when I was right about it?
Yeah, but I also loved how because he also didn't want to talk to her, because he's like, I'm fucking gonna hate when she tells me. I told you so.
He hasn't, like, he waited, like, a good 8 months before he contacted her again.
Yeah.
And as soon as she answered, I was right. And he just, so good. That was the highlight of the season, was their interactions. Francis Capra, thank you. That was so good. It
was just nice to see Weevil get some real meaty storyline.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like he was in every scene of every episode. Like,
no.
But when he was there, you felt him, and he had a presence there, and it was substantial, and oh god. So if we can have Veronica and Weevil, like, on motorcycles in season 5, just
I also
cross country.
I hate that all their motorcycles were like these fucking. When I picture like a motorcycle gang, I think like Harleys and like fucking. But they're all
street
like,
bikes.
Yeah, and it always bugs me, and it was the same thing with the show had them too. So maybe it's like a California thing.
It's that and like a young guy thing, like a kid thing they want that looks cooler than that. I think that's also where they want to differentiate that these are kids, or at least really young.
Yeah.
Adults.
Also, I really enjoyed Hector was around, and that was cute.
Yeah,
I
love that they're BFF still.
But like, Hector needs to keep his mouth shut. Hector almost got Veronica killed, so. But also, I do enjoy because Hector never cared for Veronica, so he doesn't fucking care. No. And he's probably always been like, dude, what's your thing with this Veronica? Like,
I love that where everyone else is like, what the fuck, Weevil? And well, that goes back to like, Weevil loves Veronica. It's not like he just likes her or whatever. They're friends. He like literally, like, with all his heart, loves and cares for her. And I love that it just highlighted that in this. But I love, like, that scene in Mars Investigations. He had a point too. Like, she complains about being broke and this and that, but she has the choice of going and being a lawyer. Like, she has that degree, or she has that choice.
Yeah, it's always been, I think, their biggest headbutting thing, because what was it?
He really doesn't have as much of a choice as she does.
We just talked about it in a Eccles Family Christmas, how she's like, I don't fit in. He's like, What are you fucking talking
Yeah.
about, Veronica? Of course you fit in. You have all the doors open to you, and you're acting here like you're a fucking, like, minority who has every door shut. You are so... All your problems... Not all your problems. A lot of your problems are brought on by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be in Neptune.
No.
Like, because she has all these... I appreciate it, because she has all these excuses.
It's not like Logan was stationed in Neptune.
No, and I like
taking care of her dad, sure.
Her head, she's like, I gotta stay here for dad. I gotta stay here for this, blah, blah, blah. And it's so realistic. Like, so many people... I think what it is, she's afraid to move on.
Yep.
Like, because she's afraid she's gonna fail. And it's easier just to be like, well, I have to be here. Like, everyone needs me to be here. And it happens to so many people, especially, like, are in that age group, and our age group, where it's like, it's just easier. This is just easier.
Yeah.
Why try? This is just easier.
So that I could fail and have to start from the bottom again? Like, that's why I loved the ending even more, because she's moving on. She's moving on with her life. And I'm sorry, I love Logan, but she couldn't do that when he is still alive. Like, I don't care if he's off on some secret fucking mission in the Congo. She's still gonna know he's around. She's still gonna know there's a chance. It's not like he was fucking stationed in Neptune. There was no reason for her to stay there, but she still will. She's not gonna move on with her life, and that hurts, because I fucking love Logan, and I want him around. And seeing Jason Doering reacting to it, and how heartbroken he is, makes me even more heartbroken for it. And I'm just like, oh, fuck, can we get some alternate reality where he's, like, can he be a ghost? Can, like, Veronica just have these hallucinations where he's around? Because, like, I
wouldn't be surprised if we get that in season 5, to be honest.
Veronica, I got a secret. A good one.
As he's, like, cleaning the car.
Psst, Veronica, follow me, Dorcas. That would be really cool, just to have him in any sort of way, because I love Jason Doering on the show. Like, he has such a strong presence, and this was one of my favorite seasons with him, because this is the Logan I wanted out of season 3.
Well, because Logan wasn't a fucking moron this season.
He what? Wait, what?
Wasn't a fucking
I thought you said he was a fucking moron. I'm like, he was probably the
like,
most clear-headed person this
that's
season.
the thing. It's like, oh, so he's a level-headed one, and it's...
Well, and
nice.
that's, oh my god, that's what's, once you take that out of the equation of Logan and Veronica still sees chaos, but it's coming from her. Like, it's not him anymore. He's the level one. He's the grounded one. Yeah, and she could always crutch on that. Well, like, I'm bad, but look at this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's a little psycho, and that's why I love him. But... like, once that has settled, like, all Veronica could see is her chaos, and see that it's her driving it, but she's not gonna fix it. She's gonna think that he could come and fix her. And it sucks, but that's sometimes that we get with fucking childhood trauma. I don't know. Someone said it, not someone. So Karina McKenzie, she's the showrunner of Roswell, New Mexico, the revival, or reboot. She was responding to someone who said, "Am I the only one who didn't need Veronica to live happily ever after? I just needed her to keep being the narrator." And she responded, "The only thing I need from Veronica Mars is for the world to be bleak, and for Veronica's fight for justice to endure relentlessly despite that bleakness. I feel like that was the promise made by the pilot, and season 4 was a true return to form."
Yeah.
Like, and that's what it is. It's Veronica being the underdog. It's her going up against these big entities and finding the justice in it. Like, she has that fight because of all the darkness around her. Like, she grew up with that. She's jaded from it. She's an asshole because of it, but that's what makes her a real character.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't be realistic if she was,
show.
like, just a normal, happy person. Because you can't be, like... She had fucking two of the worst years of high school ever. Like, I don't know how you survive.
Dude!
Like, raped, your best friend's murdered, you almost get murdered by your boyfriend's dad, like,
you almost get killed in a bus crash.
Yeah, the love of your life leaves to Australia with like his dead girlfriend's baby. You have like, you think your dad dies multiple times. You get a fucking gun shootout on a rooftop. Like, it's...
She's dealt with a lot. And it was as a teenager. It wasn't like she was a fucking 25-year-old.
And the problem is, she hasn't dealt with any of it. And that's why she's fucked up. And I appreciate that.
Yes.
You can't... Like, even people, like, who have dealt with, like, none of that...
Logan is a best-case scenario, honestly.
Yeah.
His is probably the most unrealistic thing of it was how well he healed, but I think it was a lot more than... It didn't just happen this season. It's been the past 10, 15 years.
I also think,
like, through it.
The military aspect helped him, too. I'm sure that helped.
He needed structure. That was a big thing for him with structure.
Logan's always needed structure, yeah. And he didn't have that. Like, his parents were, like, the most least structured people in the world. I don't like talking about it more. I did enjoy so much of this season, but you can tell what we enjoyed because we're not talking about a lot of this. Like, we're not talking about Big Dick. We're not talking. There's a lot of stuff we're not talking about because it was just there, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in the episode breakdown.
Yeah, but like as a whole, what I loved about the season was what the show's about, and that's Veronica. And I just think people don't like to realize that there are a lot of people out there that have gone through a hell-like childhood, and that what it creates in your brain of like this self-sabotage of like no matter how good something might be for you, that trauma is going to come back and tell you you're wasting your time, your money, you're too broken to be fixed, that you're just being too dramatic and you should just get over it. There are people much worse off than you. Like, it's these things that are going to keep you from therapy, and like it's just a really great thing to show, like, not a cookie cutter version of that, like the cautionary tale of that you're not always going, it's not easy to get the help you need, and sometimes it's going to take some shitty ass situation to get you there, like where you're at rock bottom, because that's usually what it is. Once you hit the lowest of low, then you feel, well, I mean, I can't go any further down than here. Let's give it a shot. It's good to see. You don't see that perspective on TV much at all. Like, the character just has to go get healed because they're the main character, and they need to keep going. They need to make this person super likable. They can't have any bad traits. And I fucking appreciate it. I loved this season.
Well, those are the characters I'm usually drawn to. Like, Batman is a perfect example. He is such a well-beloved character, and it's not because he's Batman. It's because he's a fucking fucked up dude who never dealt with his awful childhood traumas and refuses to get help, and that makes him such a great dynamic character. And that's why I think Superman doesn't have that same, I don't know, people love Superman, but it's not the same, because Superman's the shiny, bright, happy, like, he has no dark demons, and Batman does. And characters with demons are more interesting.
They're more relatable. Like,
that's
people
why,
don't go through life having, like, I'm sure some people do, but the majority of us don't go through life in some cookie-cutter world. Like, fucked up shit happens to you, and you have to deal with it and move on, and sometimes you don't deal with it in the best way. Yeah. Ooh, one of my favorite lines, though, is at the end after after Keith stops the explosion or whatever, and one of the reporters is trying to stop Veronica, and like, oh, you're a hero, and she's like, I'm not the hero, my dad is. And I was just like, oh god, yes,
is such a Batman line, which I also really appreciate.
It was.
I'm not the hero the city needs, I'm the hero it deserves.
Wait, isn't that line the opposite?
I don't know. Yes, it is.
I think I don't want to get too much into plot details, but I will say I am more forgiving of a loose plot if it has good character moments
I don't think
and
the plot was
development.
loose. I think the plot, if you like take away all the fluff, the plot.
No, I don't
was
mean
well done.
like. I guess I didn't mean it like that, but like I could not care about a plot
Yeah.
and still love something as long as the characters are there. Because I feel like with any show, I can overlook bad plot for great character. Like I can't do the reverse though. I can't overlook bad character for good plot. I'm not saying that's what happened with season 4, but I definitely preferred the character development and arcs and everything versus any of the like the mystery stuff, I guess.
I mean, I will say
That's what I'm trying to say.
I thought this was better than season 3 and the movie, so
Yes, hands
I'm
down.
happy. Like because I was texting Joe as I was watching it, and I always text Joe the negative just because that's just the person I am. I would never be like, "Oh, I love this."
Well,
scene.
but then I'll text you all the positives, so it works.
But talking about it more, I've definitely like kind of loosened up a bit.
That's what helps. Like a discussion helps you like really get a feel.
And also,
like,
I hate binge watching
yes,
shows.
that's the other thing.
my
It's
big
hard
problem.
to process when you binge.
First of all, it's just it feels so.
You remember the beginning and the end, and the middle kind of muddles.
Yeah, because it's like it's a fucking 8-hour movie. You're not going to retain an 8-hour movie. So when we redo this, when we're doing episodes and episodes, I think I'll have more to talk about.
Oh
like
yeah,
more plot points. But as a whole, it's nice to see Veronica Mars back. I hope this continues. I don't really know what Hulu's like.
Season 5.
Yeah, I don't
Season
know
5.
because we don't have Hulu in Canada, so I don't know what their like fucking renewal rate is. Like I don't know.
I guess when they saw the last cut of the episode for episode 8, Rob was worried they weren't gonna let him do it, but they're like, no, you can. They're gonna be pissed, but you could do it. Like, and sure enough, people are mad. I mean, I get it. Like, you can be upset about it. Like, I love it. I just want discussion about it. Like, of course, there's going to be people that don't like it and people that loved it and, like, all in between. Yeah. And that's okay. The thing that's wrong is when you start attacking other people for those opinions. And it's on both. It's not, like, just the people that didn't like it or attacking all the people that liked it. It's both ends, and it's resulting in this, well, you're not a real fan if you didn't like it, or you're not a real fan if you did like it.
Which, again...
Like, it's so dumb. You can have your own opinion.
We're fucking thrown out with fucking pitchforks and, like...
People were scared to dislike the movie.
And it's so ridiculous that now it's reversed, and these people are acting like they're the fucking... They're the saints, and now they're being attacked. It's just fucking like what you like, don't like what you like. Like
stop telling other people how to feel.
Just like shut the. Oh my god, it infuriates me because it
drives people away. Which I'm guessing the people that didn't like it are trying to do that. Well, not all of them, but there's like a small amount of people that are like, let's start a petition to get Hulu not to bring it back. And I'm like, come on. Like, that's not fair. You cannot, just don't watch it then.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get that point. You don't have to bring down something if you don't like it.
Just, I have no words to say how angry I am, how people are just acting. It's almost so childish. And it's all
entitled.
Adults. It's all these adults that are doing this. And it's like, just... It angers me so much. It really does. It makes my blood boil. That people...
I had to keep going off, like, even after I finished it, and I wanted to kind of see. I couldn't, because there was just so much...
Rob Thomas doesn't know
It's not even that it was that there were people that disliked it, because that's cool, that again, that brings discussion. But it's the people that are just, like, attacking other people. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
What is the point of attacking someone on the internet with a different fucking opinion than you?
Like, the only
What is the point?
I know. The only reason I got angry at the movie was because a part of me is like, well, I paid for this, so...
Well, okay, so people are feeling that because of that Kickstarter, that's the only reason we got this revival, so they're entitled to have the revival how they want it.
The movie I get.
Yeah, the movie, I understood why that was fan service it needed to be.
technically, it should be whatever Hulu wants, because Hulu's flipping the bill for this.
You know? Like, yeah.
But I don't know. I think this is a good place to kind of, like, end. I think we've said what we need to say. I think we're going in a little bit of circles, and it's actually just really pissing me off.
Yeah.
But as a whole, happy to return to Veronica Mars. It's nice, and I think it helps that we're doing this podcast, so I'm in this, like, Veronica Mars headspace.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to dissect, like, not dissect through the episodes, but, like, just take it all in when you're dissecting each and every episode.
I will say, I'll add one thing. A few of my coworkers had no idea there was a Veronica Mars revival coming up. It's not.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, like, my coworker yesterday, because I was like, I was telling her, I was like, oh, Joe got a chance to go meet some of the cast and stuff. And she's like, did you know there was a revival? I'm like, yeah, of course I know. She's like, because I was just, like, online last night and it popped up. So I started watching it. I'm like, did you not know? She's like, no. And I think the biggest problem is Hulu is such an American.
Mm-hmm.
There's no presence. Like, Crave has it in Canada, but there's no promotion. It's not like Hulu where it's all over the place. There's no market for it in Canada, and I'm guessing a lot of places outside of America. And I think that's going to hurt it a lot more than help it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is nice that Kristen Bell's trying really hard to promote it.
Yeah, she is.
She also has, like, a lot of other stuff going on. Like, she has The Good Place, she has Frozen, and, like, let's be real, Frozen's paying the bills for her.
She has her family.
That too. So, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it'd be great if we have a season 5, but
I'm not expecting it next year.
They're not pushing it.
Like, maybe in a year and a half.
This is going to be... It's like when Sherlock was on TV. They would kind of do it when
that's what he's wanting to pivot to, is something like that.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah,
because
wholeheartedly.
I would love to jump in from here to now and then, because I think it's just going to get dry and old real quick if we're doing it every year.
Yep.
And it won't feel special.
Well, if you did it this way every year, I think I would like to see where they take it with season 5 and then go from, should we do this every year? Because I want to see what direction they're taking it, because it's going to be a whole new, like, a lifeblood going through the show.
I'd be okay with 6 episodes, because I think, this sounds really weird, like 8 episodes was too long. I think 6 episodes would have, like, streamlined it.
I would have liked that. Either 6 or 9. Like, I felt like they needed one more episode, or they needed to cut it back a bit.
Less.
Yeah, something like that. Or even 7. I don't know. But, I guess I just want to end with, like, I loved it. I look forward to more. Please be fucking respectful to people online. Be respectful to the actors, the writers.
Be respectful to people in general, guys.
Yeah. Like, there's no need to attack anyone over having a different opinion than you. Like, talk about what's making you upset, and you guys could talk about that together. Like, so they talk about what they liked, what you didn't like, and just fucking talk. Like, that's the point of TV. And honestly, that was the point probably of the ending, is to get people to talk about it, and hell, it worked.
Yeah.
Like, whether or not this doesn't end in Rob's favor, I think it was a necessary thing for the show, and I am gonna miss Jason Dohring dearly. I hope he's back in some way, because that was my ship to end all ships. And
I will say, though, Rob Thomas
has
now killed Jason Dohring twice.
So if you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, we are at Veronica Mars Pod. We also have a Facebook. You're a podcast, Veronica Mars there. If you'd like to follow me, I am Ojo on Twitter and Instagram. That is OHJEAUX. Travis?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Truant. That's Travis, and then TRUANT.
Alrighty. And then if you like this episode, rate us on iTunes. And then other than that, we will see you guys next week with episode 12, Clash of the Tritons, where we will continue with our rewatch.
Yeah!
And then I hope you all are just having a good time and not letting this get to you too bad, and just breathe. Just breathe.
In the words of Sia, just breathe.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
You tried to say Veronica Mars. We get it. Girl detectives are bitchier than regular detectives. Not into it.